This is a watch I've been looking at for quite some time. Whilst I'm not a fan of skeleton dials, somehow this one just works. This is the 6th Christopher Ward watch I've purchased, and the 3rd one I still own. Needless to say, I'm a big fan of the brand. As you probably know, Christopher Ward are a British-based company, but their watches are made in Switzerland. And in my opinion, the quality matches those of other Swiss brands costing an awful lot more. So welcome to my unpaid, unsponsored and unprofessional review of the Christopher Ward C60 Sapphire. On with the dimensions. Well, it's got a 40mm case and a 20mm lug width. The lug to lug is 47.7mm, the depth is 13.5mm, and once this bracelet's been adjusted to my 17cm wrist, the watch weighs 158 grams. Usual Christopher Ward quality presentation box here. It's a coffin style box, and inside you've got the instructions, a nice cleaning cloth and a 5-year warranty. For those interested, here's my watch of the day. It's actually a new purchase. It's my Yema Navy Graph 39mm, which I will shortly be doing a review on. The 7mm crown is signed. It operates the watch beautifully, and the engagement is absolutely superb, and that's the same on every Chris Ward watch I've ever owned. The water resistance is crazy at 600 metres. I don't know if that's strictly necessary, but who's complaining? Turning the watch round, inside you can see the watch's movement. It's the Solita SW200. It's a clone of the ETA 2824. It's a high beat movement, 4 Hz. It ticks away at 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks, it hand winds. They're very reliable and regulated correctly. They're very accurate. Let's have a look and see how this one's performing on the time grapher. There we are. It reads +13, beat error of 0, and a very good amplitude. In real life, where it's actually running at about +8 seconds a day, which I find quite reasonable. Now the watch has a domed sapphire crystal with some anti-reflective coating. Now Christopher Ward referred to this case as a light catcher case, for good reason. There are many facets to this. Now, as you can see, it's horizontally brushed on the sides, but it's vertically brushed on the top, and it's all done very well. There's some polishing on both the transition on the top and the bottom, and turning the watch over, it's got a sapphire exhibition back, which is smoked and obviously screwed down for its high water resistance. Moving on to the bezel, it's a stainless steel bezel. Everything lines up beautifully as you'd expect it to. It's very easy to grip. It's 120 click. There's no back play and there's no wobble. I probably would have preferred a little bit more resistance, but I think that's a personal thing. This dial is totally unique. Unlike the other two colours in the range, the dial and the case back are actually smoked rather than having a polycarbonate layer applied. In actual fact, I far prefer this version to either the blue or the orange. Now some people don't like the placement of the logo at the 9 o'clock, personally I do. As well as the section of the movement, the date wheel is also visible. The indices are applied and they appear to float above the dial itself. I'm sure that even non-watch people would have their heads turned by this watch. Now the handset is quite simple, but the second hand is orange, which matches the dots placed above the indices. This is the first Christopher Ward watch I've owned that actually has a good loom, and it's nice to see they've addressed that issue. They've used X1 GLC1 loom, which gives a nice initial impact and lasts a reasonable amount of time. That said, the hands do last a lot longer than the indices. Now the first 15 minutes of the bezel is also loomed, but this only lasts a few minutes. This is far from the best loom I've ever seen on a dive watch, but it's far from the worst either. Now let's have a look at that loom. Now the previous owner of this watch actually bought the bracelet separately at a cost of £165 no less, but this is the strap that came with it. It's a hybrid strap, black and red as you can see, with a signed buckle. Beautiful quality, quick release pins. Really is very, very nice. I tried it on the watch, but I've got to be honest, I'm a bit of a bracelet guy. So let's have a look at the bracelet. It's an oyster style bracelet, no sharp edges, it really is beautifully made. It's all brushed, quick release pins again on the back. It's a male end link, but it drops straight down, so there's not an issue. 20mm down to 18, back up to 20mm for the clasp. This does have a pin and collar system. I don't mind pin and collar systems. They are a little bit fiddly, but they're very secure. The clasp is a work of art. Double pushers, very secure, fully milled, and it has its on the fly adjustment. It really is a very good clasp. So price and value for money. This watch on a hybrid strap is £795 and on a bracelet it's £900. Now because the previous owner bought the bracelet separately, the total cost for him was £960. Now I bought this 10-month-old one in very good condition for £500, albeit the clasp had been scratched up a little bit. So is the watch actually worth the money? Whilst not cheap, we must remember that Christopher Ward aren't competing with budget brands. Their strategy is to offer luxury grade watches at a considerably less price than the luxury brand watch. Now I've never owned a Chris Ward watch that I consider is overpriced, so you make up your mind. To my knowledge there weren't any QC issues when this watch arrived. Now I was going to have a moan about the watch not needing to be 600 metre water resistant, and possibly it could have been slimmer. However, it's just designed so well you don't actually notice that depth. There are so many things to appreciate about this watch though. The unusual and aesthetically pleasing dial, the incredible case, the Swiss movement and the choice of two excellent straps. All in all, this is a stunning watch and it's made to exacting standards. Now this watch is going to take pride of place in my watch box, sat beside its good friend, the Christopher Ward Super Compressor. In brief, this is a Michelin star watch for greasy spoon money. Well, a very good greasy spoon anyway. Honestly, this watch is a dog's doodas. If you want one, buy one and tell your wife she can live with her mother if she doesn't agree with your decisions. Now that brings me to the end of this review. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please click on the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and enjoy the rest of your day.